Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We'll begin on page 24, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nilech Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nilech Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Welcome, good Shabbos. Good to see everyone here this evening in the Forgotten Chapel, and welcome to those of you who are joining us online. It is a busy time in this city as graduations go this way and that, and lots of travel, and just the arrival of summer today, it seems, and it's wonderful in the midst of all of that to take at least what I hope will be an hour of calm and presence, and to foster that sense of gratitude for just being. As always, we come after many different kinds of weeks. There are as many kinds of weeks here as there are individuals in this room. I know that some of you are in town because for very happy occasions, wonderful things that you're planning or celebrating in your family. Some are here after in the wake of staggering loss, just in recent days or in recent weeks. Some are here after very difficult moments, and maybe this is a time of gratitude and relief. Some are here to observe Yartzeit, and some are here because where else will you be? And everything in between. So welcome, no matter which door you came in tonight. It is, we read this week in our Haftarah in the book of Ezekiel that some very specific descriptions of movements of the priests, between the outer chambers and the inner chambers of the temple in Jerusalem, and that there is preparation and methodology for this movement, that you can't just charge in. You have to dress a certain way. You have to prepare yourself, if you're one of these priests, a certain way before you can approach and come closer to this presence, to draw close to God. And while that particular framework doesn't apply to us because we don't administer sacrifices at the temple, the idea that to draw close to our Creator and to draw close enough to hear our own still small voice needs some kind of preparation, needs some kind of intention forming, that absolutely applies to us. It might be the clothes we put on tonight, or it might be the meal that we've prepared at home, or the meal we're looking forward to just in the next room. It also just might be the way that we sit here in the chapel and the way that we draw our next breath. Regardless of the doors, regardless of the weeks, regardless of the preparations that you did or didn't have the chance to do before this moment, I invite you to prepare now to draw inward to this community, inward toward God, inward toward your own soul and spirit. The week has ended. There is nothing more that we can do in the next hour but be here and begin to restore. So in that spirit, we kindle our Shabbat lights, and it is a joy this evening to invite forward Touro Synagogue's soon-to-be newest member, Rabbi Lily Kowalski, who will be joining our clergy team and education team this July. And she is in town to make some of those preparations for the movement of her life from Montreal to New Orleans, and had just a minute to spend Shabbat with us. So Rabbi Kowalski, welcome to Touro, welcome to the Forgotten Chapel Bima. Let's all take a deep breath as we bring out the beginning of this drawing in that we strive to do each and every Shabbat. Let's sing together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Page 3. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen. We rise, page 5 for Kiddush.
Baruch
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon higilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tefilah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziyat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'avarta ve'otanu Mikohamim, Beshavat Kodsheka, Be'ahava u'bratzon, Hinchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim.
May be seated, and know that we're all so eager to get to know Rabbi Kowalski and give her the biggest Touro Synagogue in New Orleans welcome when she tonight, and also when she actually moves here in just a few weeks. So we're so glad you're here, and so glad you could join us this evening. In this parashah, we learn about well, there are a lot of different parts of it, but specifically we learn about the counting of the Omer. We learn about Shavuot. We're instructed to count these 7 days of 7 weeks that we're doing right now, and then to make this pilgrimage to the temple and to offer our first fruits. And we learn later in the Torah, in Devarim, in Deuteronomy, that when that offering is made, there's a declaration made. We say it on Passover, actually. We say the words, Arami Oved Avi, my father was a wandering Aramean, which has all sorts of different interpretations. We begin always, we learn from this, by words that connect us to the past, that ground us in family and in community and in history. That's what Arami Oved Avi does at Passover, and that's what it does when we think about this pilgrimage that was made all those years ago and that we spiritually make now. Arami Oved Avi, I come to offer what I can because of those who came before me, whether blood or chosen family, who preserved this tradition for me. Each Shabbat, in a way, I think is such an offering, as well as a receiving, of course. We come, we declare and offer up what we have to God, to community, on behalf of our own souls, and we receive at the same time reassurance and a hope for tomorrow. So in that spirit, again, let's prepare ourselves and sing a little bit, Kabbalat Shabbat, to make a separation between the day of thinking and intellectualizing everything that was out there to this space of feeling and breathing. Pages 12 and 13, we begin.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nariha letzor ishenu, nekadma fana betoda, Bizmirot narialo, Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato, Zapru v'goyim kevodo v'kol ha'amim niflatav, ki gadol Adonai, u'olam me'od, nora'u, akol Elohim, We turn to page 20 for Lechado D. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Yadadadadai lakadodi. Yadadadadai likrat kalam. Yadadadadai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Yadadadadai lakadodi. Yadadadadai likrat kalam. Yadadadadai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Ishmihanu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem tiferet v'litilah. Yadadadai, yadadadadai l'chadodi. Yadadadadai likrat kalam. Yadadadadai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha. Ki mekor habracha. Lerosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tfilah. Yadadadai, yadadadadai l'chadodi. Yadadadadai likrat kalam. Yadadadadai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Itoreri, itoreri, ki va'one kumi hori, 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 shidaberi, kevod Adonai, alayich niglai. Yadadadai, yadadadadai l'chadodi. Yadadadadai likrat kalam. Yadadadadai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Bohi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'tolam. Toch emuneh am segulam. Bohi kala, bohi kala. Yadadadai, yadadadadai l'chadodi. Yadadadadai likrat kalam. Yadadadadai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela.
You can be seated. My grandma of blessed memory used to say all the time, dessert can solve all your problems. And she's not wrong. She wasn't then and she's not now. But to that, I would add one more thing, which our community here at Touro knows about, which is, in addition to dessert, the thing that can solve all the problems that a lot of us build up feeling throughout the week, a lot of the confusion, a lot of the little things that get in our way, a lot of the things that help us grow, is on Friday night when we get to invite up all of our littlest ones for their Shabbat blessing. So if you are an old pro, or if you're brand new to this, or if maybe you did it once or twice and you're not sure if I mean you, I do mean you, we'd like to invite all of you to come on up to the Bima to join us for some song and some blessing, and of course a little something sweet afterwards. We're so happy to see all of you. It's getting to that time of the year. We're going to see a little bit less and a little bit less throughout the week, and then we'll all come back together in the fall. But for this week, we get to wish you all Shabbat Shalom.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha Ken yehi ratzon Yaher Adonai panav elecha Vichuneka Ken yehi ratzon Yisa Adonai panav elecha Ve'yasem lecha shalom Ken yehi ratzon.
Before you all get your special treat, which is coming, don't worry, we would like to bring up two very special people who are about to make their way on a big journey up 55 to Jacob's Camp in only a matter of days. Layla Raymond and Aaron Rothko. The two of you would come forward to the Bima, please. We have a few words of send-off for you. You can just come stand with your friends here, or the. Well, yeah, there you go. That's fine. Okay, it was actually just a test to see where you would sit. Okay, Aaron and Layla. These two individuals have been our amazing class fellows this year, which means that they are they are the result of a partnership that we are so lucky to have between Touro Synagogue and Jacob's Camp, where these two awesome young Jewish educators work with us all year, and then they spend the summer at Jacob's Camp, and we have this great exchange of knowledge and learning and relationship, and it has been such a joy. Aaron and Layla, the gift this year has been of your presence and your smiles and your care and your positivity and your heart and soul that you bring to Touro Synagogue every single day, which we know you're going to bring along with you to Jacob's. It's also been such a gift, this partnership with camp that allows Touro to benefit from you all every single day, and that will continue when you depart in only a matter of days. We are so grateful for your contributions to the building of this community and wish you strength and perseverance and lots of water and great sense of humor and sunscreen and hats as you head to camp, and hopefully bring some of that Touro light to camp. Some of these folks up here and so many others that you see every single morning. So we wanted to just give you this special blessing before you leave.
And a little bit of a gift of sorts, because you see, when our little ones get Hershey Kisses every week, not only do our little ones grow up, but our Hershey Kisses grow up too. And we thought we would share with each of you a special Hershey's Kiss, even though you are after your B'nai Mitzvah. Oh yes, this is a serious kiss.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
And we really want to thank you for the work that you do with our little ones, with our teens. It is such a gift to our community. And so right now, I'd like to ask all of you sitting on the bima if you could circle up around Aaron and Layla while we sing a special blessing for them. And you can stand up.
You can stand up and give them a blessing on their shoulder the way that we give you one on yours.
So this blessing is based on words from the Talmud, and it's a blessing for the two of you, and it's a blessing also for the two of you to pass on to our kids at camp this summer. May your eyes shine with the light of wisdom, and your face be radiant as the brightness of the sky. May your lips speak words of wisdom, and may the world you live in be the world of your dreams. May you see your world created in your lifetime. May you see your visions come to be. May your hope touch every generation to come. These are the prayers we have for you. May your eyes shine with the light of Torah, and your face be radiant as the brightness of the sky. May your lips speak words of wisdom, and may the world you live in be the world of your dreams. May the world you live in be the world of your dreams.
Continue now, hopefully very much settled into this space and the spirit of this night, even in the midst of so many different feelings and so many different experiences. Page 28 for Baruch Hu. We'll sing our Nigun a few times and then rise for our call to worship. Page 30, Thank you, God, who speaks the evening into being, causes the circles and the cycles of nature to ground us, to remind us that we are a part of creation, not apart from it, and the constancy that we see when we look up into the heavens. May it give us the strength that we need to be constant in our own commitments and assured of our own worth. 6 lines down from the bottom in the Hebrew of page 30. Thank you, God, for rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light.
Uma Yom Laila, Uma Ben Yom Laila, Adonai Tzvot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Varavi.
For just a moment, you can all be seated. Typically, we would sing our way and pray our way through the next few pages through Ahavat Rabbah, or Ahavat Olam, and the Shema and the Ve'ahavta, but I wanted to take a moment because in reading the line, everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. There is in our congregation, but unfortunately also departing our congregation, somebody who embodies that mitzvah of being a teacher of Torah, and that's our dear friend Naomi Yavna Close. So I'd like to invite you up to embarrass you with some words, and then also to offer you a blessing. I would guess that there is a majority, if not near unanimity in this room, of those who have had the pleasure and real honor of a lifetime, not only to get to know Naomi, but just simply to be with her as a teacher and as a fellow learner and as a student and as a friend. I looked at you, so now I'm going to start there. Okay. Don't look at me. Don't look. Many of you know that Naomi, after many years serving the Loyola community so dutifully, is leaving in a few weeks to relocate to New Mexico to join the faculty of the University of New Mexico there. And I am sure that you're so close to having turquoise already, and I know that you will rock it out totally. And when you come back for Mardi Gras, because this is the only place where there's Mardi Gras, no matter what the Mobilians will tell you, this is where Mardi Gras happens, so bring some back for us. I wanted to just speak a few words about just the name that you carry with you, that you bring into this building so often. Your name fits you perfectly, and I doubt I'm the first person, rabbi or otherwise, to ever say that to you. Naomi in Hebrew is a Hebrew name of origin, and it means pleasant. I could full stop there, and I think we would all know what I'm talking about. When you greet people here, you are greeting members and guests and visitors and oftentimes seekers and searchers with this incomparable pleasantness that just draws people towards you, whether they know to go to you or not. It's also the name of Ruth's mother-in-law in the Bible, and Ruth, one of our first converts, grafts herself, for lack of a more poetic term, to this tree of sturdiness and of devotion, her mother-in-law Naomi, even in the hardest of times. And you are one of the shepherds of what we have appropriated from you to call our baby Ruths, those in the process of conversion here in our community. You have been one of the foremost and most trusted and open-hearted lay leaders and guides for those who are in that process. And your last name, Yavna, as a brilliant scholar and a tender-hearted teacher of students of all ages, this is pretty on the nose also. Yavna is an ancient city in the land of Israel, and it's one of the places where, after the destruction of the temple, And the loss of the epicenter, the place where Jews felt moored in our heritage and our practices, it's one of the places where scholars and rabbis flocked to. And it's where they found comfort among each other, and where they found that anchoring once again, and where they learned how to shift from not just doing, but to study, and to expansive doing and expansive love of all sorts. And it was an entirely new way that we were able to fulfill our destiny. So pleasantness and guidance and knowledge, they are all found within you, my friend. And they all flow from you. And our community is going to be just slightly less than we are now because you are leaving, but the world is just as bright. And the community in New Mexico, whose rabbi I went to camp with, and that's like the most Jewish thing anybody could ever say to you, is excited to welcome you and to take just a little bit of what it is that you have to offer. So I'd like to invite you up to the Ark for a blessing. When the Ark door is open, we'll invite everyone to please rise. We'll also remain standing through Shema until Ve'ahavta. There's one in there. May the light of God shine on you, and may God's face always be present. May you always be granted the greatest blessing of all. Page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You can be seated.
Page 36, I think. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha al beitecha, u'lechtecha b'derech, u'shofecha u'kumecha, u'shartam le'yot al-yedecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tizkeru, va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kadoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'yot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
Continue on page 40. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Mi kamok na ba elim Adonai, mi kamok na nedar bakodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malchut tekara u'manecha bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Zelianu ve'ameru, Zelianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 43. We'll read together the second half of the page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, המקדשי שבי כולם ישמחו ויתענגו מטובך והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו, חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית. זכר למעשה בראשית.
The Amidah is on pages 46 and following. If you're able, we invite you to please rise.
Yay, 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 Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Uviyaki, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Uviyaki, Tehilatecha. Yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, Mechai hakol, Ata Rav lehoshia, Morid ha'atal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bagivurot umido melech meimit umekaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'neheman atalachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You can be seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. On page 57, at the bottom of the page, read together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Take a few moments now to continue the Amidah silently, either with the words on the page or Tefillat Halev, the prayers of our own hearts.
ratzon imrefi. Iu ratzon imrefi. Vegan libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri v'gohali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru, amen. Ve'yimeru, amen.
Dedicate this moment to those who are in need of healing, those whose bodies and minds and hearts and souls are broken and cracked, and who need to know that our strength is and our intentions are devoted to them. So take a moment now to think of those individuals in your life, in your sphere of concern, those with illnesses and injuries that we can all see and we all know, and those with injuries and illnesses and pain that no one knows, that we cannot see. We pray for them as well. Take a moment if you'd like to whisper the names of those you're thinking of, and then we'll sing our Misha Berach together.
The ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mekor habracha, lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Imagine with me for just a moment. You are a student in a classroom. I should say, I only originally wrote you are in a classroom, but I looked around and was like, there are a lot of teachers in here, and I need you to be in student mindset for right now. You're a student in a classroom. For this exercise, pick any grade or age that you would like to be for a few moments. Think of any room or formal educational setting that you remember fondly. Picture any teacher that you still think back to even years later, for better or for worse. In this scene, for each of us, it's just a typical day at school, and things are just flowing. The day is moving along as most days do. There is nothing out of the ordinary, nothing disrupting the usualness of it all. The voice of the teacher who's speaking to you, or perhaps speaking at you, is not soft, but it's not angry. It's got life to it, but it's even-toned. The teacher is avoiding being both overly animated and also too monotonous. And that's a good thing, because the material that you're covering today, as you have been for days and weeks, is very complex and highly consequential. A patchwork of knowledge and instructions which, in this scenario, every student is obligated, bound, to reenact time and time again from this moment forward for the rest of your life, or for at least as long as you wish to remain in God's good graces. The patches that make it up are not always easy to align or to connect. They're elements of something bigger, each of which is its own combination of emotionally burdensome and or fear-inducing and or wearily repetitious, sometimes, often, all of those things. It's clear that no one in the class, including you, doubts the importance of learning all of this. Nobody doubts the sincerity or the urgency of the teacher. Nobody doubts the idealism and the seriousness, often frustratingly difficult to comprehend, of the source of the material being taught. It's not quite the end of the school year. That's still a ways off, but it's definitely not day one either. And so that means by now, you've been a student long enough to know that there is one essential metric by which you are going to be graded. And that is, when you leave this class, will you be able to both recite back and fulfill all of the intricate instructions that are being taught to you? Put another way, are you going to be able to accurately do the things you're hearing about and accurately impart them to others, the why and the how and the when, so that they can fulfill them too? Seems pretty evident. The best way to succeed at that would be, in the moment, in every day's class, to pay as close attention to the teacher as possible at all times. But then, there's a disruption. There is some drastic, immediate change to what everyone is paying attention to. One moment, you're in it, you are focused, you are highly attentive. And then suddenly, from somewhere behind you, perhaps a heavy book falls to the ground and makes everybody tense up and look around. Or, think about this from childhood, you're in math class and suddenly the fire alarm goes off to do a drill. If you were at services last week, in the middle of highlighting the beauty of the confirmation service, the microphones reset and create a huge booming sound that takes everybody out of the moment. So pause the scene for just a moment. What I just described is essentially the scene that we find ourselves in at the start of this week's Torah portion, Parshat Emor. It constitutes chapters 21 through 24 of the book of Leviticus, and it builds on last week's Parsha with a continuation of what we call the Holiness Code, this central section of Torah which lays out rules and regulations and rituals for every Israelite, whether the high priest or, as my professor used to call it, a regular Ruvain, all of us, every Israelite, to attain, maintain, and if necessary, return to a state of holiness, a state of sanctity, a way of living righteously, which is part of our unique relationship with God. The Holiness Code, as some of you have studied, is a long, long list of do's and don'ts and punishments and rewards, all punctuated by a weighty, repetitive phrase, weighty itself, Ani Adonai Elohechem, I am Adonai your God. That's why we are to do all of those things. And of course, this section of text, the Holiness Code, lives in the larger book of Exodus, which itself is a long, long list of do's, don'ts, punishments, and rewards. Here's an overview of what these students, that is, these Israelites in the desert, in Parshat Emor are trying to take in. This is what today consists of. 9 verses on the regulations for priests' families. 6 verses on the regulations for the high priest, including who he can marry. 9 verses on the regulations for disqualifying priests. 16 verses about how to make food sacred. 9 verses about the regulations for blemished sacrificial animals. 5 verses on various additional criteria for sacrificial animals. And then 3 words which wrap up that entire section of regulations and exhorts all of the people to fulfill them perfectly. But wait, there's more. Then there are 3 verses reminding us to observe Shabbat every single week. Then there are 41 verses explaining precise times and dates and sacrifices and rituals associated with Passover, the Omer, Shavuot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, as well as verse after verse reminding people of other periodic Sabbaths that we have in our calendar and the many, many prescribed animal and grain sacrifices which people have to fulfill daily or periodically, every single Israelite. And then there are 9 verses about the tabernacle, how to make the oil, how to light the lamps, how to make the bread, where to put the bread so that it's always steadily supplied without delay. If you are anything like one of the people I ran this by today, by the end of that list, I sounded like the teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is what the Israelites are locked into and deeply focused at this moment. All of these weighty, it's up to you to augment your life or end your life by doing or not doing these obligations. And suddenly, like a book dropping in the back of the room or a fire alarm going off for a drill, something suddenly disrupts it all. Out of nowhere comes this. Then there came out among the Israelites someone who was the son of an Israelite woman and an Egyptian man. And a fight broke out in the camp between the half-Israelite and another certain Israelite man. The son of the Israelite woman said the name of God out loud, blaspheming. And so he was brought to Moses. His mother's name was Shlomit, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan, and he was placed in custody until God could render a decision clear to the people. And finally God spoke to Moses, saying, "Take that blasphemer outside the camp, and let all who are within hearing distance of his blaspheming lay their hands upon his head, and then let the whole community stone him to death. And to the Israelite people say this, anyone who blasphemes God shall bear that guilt, and one who also pronounces the name of God shall be put to death. The whole community shall take part in this stoning. Stranger or citizen, if you pronounce the name of God, you shall be put to death." The text then continues into a line of do's and don'ts and rewards and punishments, specifically focusing on murder, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. This sudden shift in both narrative style and substance is, to the casual reader or the scholar, pretty jarring. The formalized and orderly nature of instruction time, gone, and the roughness of life actually being lived appears instead without any forewarning. In an instant, we are taken from the schoolroom to the schoolyard. And what makes this even more striking is that this moment is one of only 2 such moments like this in the entire book of Leviticus. Here, the writing inexplicably shifts from in both of those places, the writing inexplicably shifts from emphasizing what we are to do to what someone is actually doing. The other moment beside this has to do with Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, who offer what the Torah calls strange fire. They give something strange, it's not understood, it is not asked for, and instantly they are struck down dead. In that part of the text too, it goes right back to a laundry list of do's and don'ts. There is something remarkably different about this case in Amor, though. With Nadav and Avihu, the wrongness of what they did is self-evident and apparent, and the punishment is immediate. But here, this half-Israelite citizen, they're actually not quite sure what to do with him. They don't actually know what the punishment for what he did is supposed to be. So they put down all of their discussions, all of their lessons, and turn only to this matter. We don't actually know from the text how long he was in custody, or what his trial was, if any, or what it sounded like, and we don't know any of the reasoning behind God's eventual decision. All we know is he was eventually found guilty and put to death, the same as those two previous rule breakers. Generations of scholars and theologians have wondered what all of this means, what larger lesson this little moment of text could be leading us to. Some say that it has to do with laying down an eternal law against misusing God's name once and for all. Believe it or not, that was not deemed a capital offense before this moment in the Torah. Others, in Midrashim and other rabbis, have said that it has to do with reckoning about the truth, that there are people with different heritages, mixed parentage, all throughout our communities. And that is a long and painful discussion of who is in and who is not in that unfortunately still in many Jewish circles persists to this day. But this is what I think this means. This critical moment, this sudden and unexpected aberration of what had been going on in the lives of these Israelites for days, weeks, months, this moment is a reminder to our ancestors and to us that real life is not always or even usually a reflection of our most highly prized and yearned for ideals or wishes. It's not about our best laid plans. That's not what the course of life follows usually. In the middle of a section of Torah which preaches and teaches about eternal things, about processes and sacred occasions and rituals and incantations that are supposed to anchor us here in the present to things that came before us and everything that comes after us, in that moment, we're reminded of how life really goes most of the time. That intentions and desires are mostly attainable, but things can and do just sometimes happen randomly in our lives. Here in New Orleans, it's pretty intuitive. It's baked in. On all other days, not to sound like Pesach, but on all other days, we drive down that main street without any issue. But today it's different because there's a second line celebrating a new couple. On most days, we make our way to school or work or friends or houses or restaurants or live music, and we weave around the usual potholes. But today there's a little rain, and we don't know if it's a pothole or a cavern. In those moments, we have to realize how important it is to live on both sides of this proverbial coin, to set ourselves up with norms and customs and even rules and regulations that we hope, we pray, can govern us day in, day out with nothing getting in our way. Things that will always be ready to thoughtfully and even spiritually let us grapple with the unknown. Were Nadav and Avihu to be the only unexpected departure from the rigidity of Leviticus, we could consider it a singular lesson, some sort of an anomaly that has a purpose, but that eventually, once we learn it, the story itself can fade away. But it happens twice. And as the main character of Paulo Coelho's story, The Alchemist, said, everything that happens once can never happen again, but everything that happens twice will surely happen a third time. So as we try to be the best students of Torah here and now, we can, as we try to focus on what the teacher and the source desperately want us to fulfill with holidays and mitzvot and more, while we focus on those things, we also have to remember that at any moment, we should blink and reset, and if we don't hear the alarm or the book dropping now, maybe we should still be ready for it regardless. Shabbat Shalom.
We count these days, and I've been thinking that with our Lifting the Sky project and construction, my beloved books were in storage for 18 months. We count these days to our festival of learning, our festival of revelation, our festival of Torah, and I think you all know me well enough to know that unboxing those books and seeing them on my shelves and getting ready for Shabbat Shiur by a little bit too frantically pulling them off and piling them on the shelf and flipping through is one of the greatest joys that I experience. And we have a holiday just for that. And the way that we celebrate is the way that I celebrate, counting down those days until we get to our books. And we count up one day at a time. So we turn to page 278 for Sfirat HaOmer. Hineni mukhan umzuman lekayem mitzvat aseh shel Sefirat HaOmer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al Sfirat HaOmer. Hayom arba'a u'shloshim yom shehem arba'a shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is 34 days of the Omer. We turn to page 282 and rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kecho hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'namar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeya Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
You may be seated. In these final moments of our Shabbat service tonight, we dedicate to the sacred act of memory those whom we have loved and lost in recent days and weeks, and lost at this season in years past. For grief. So many in this room are experiencing grief of some kind. When you lose someone, the poet says, your life becomes strange. The ground beneath you gets fragile. Your thoughts make your eyes unsure. And some dead echo drags your voice down where words have no confidence. Your heart has grown heavy with loss. And though this loss has wounded others too, no one knows what has been taken from you when the silence of absence deepens. Flickers of guilt kindle regret for all that was left unsaid or undone. There are days when you wake up happy, again inside the fullness of life, until the moment breaks and you are thrown back onto the black tide of loss. It becomes hard to trust yourself. All you can depend on now is that sorrow will remain faithful to itself. More than you, it knows its way and will find the right time to pull the rope of grief until that coiled hill of tears has reduced to its last drop. Gradually, he soothes, you will earn acquaintance with the invisible form of your departed. And when the work of grief is done, the wound of loss will heal, and you will have learned to wean your eyes from that gap in the air and be able to enter the hearth in your soul where your loved one has awaited your return all the time. This moment of Kaddish is dedicated to the holding of the grief that we feel and the reassurance of community that no matter what stage we may find ourselves in, we are sturdy, we have each other, and we will stand for and with each other as we navigate this long and difficult journey toward the hearth of the soul, where our loved ones await our return. It's our custom to invite those whose loved one's name I read to rise in their honor and remain standing if you so wish, and the community will join you before we say Kaddish. For Shiva, we recall with love Benjamin, Lockman, Townsend, Mark. For Shloshim, we recall Dr. Tommy Olsner and Sylvia Stern. And for Yartzeit, those who died at this season in years past, we recall William Adler, the past president of Touro, Leon E. Baer, Gulnari Levenstein Bernstein, Elizabeth Bonstoppel, Leah Ofner Deutsch, Elizabeth Edelstein, Samuel Edelstein, Rose Kasdan Inolo, Arnold Falk, the past president of Touro, Ione Singerman Fellman, Abe J. Friedman, Ross Friedman, Seymour Gabiner, Marcos Gershanik, Julius Goldman, Katie Metters Goldstein, Shirley Weil Gringus, Meyer Handelman, Bernard Hirsch Herman, Bertha K. Hochstein, Ruth Bennett Katz, Franklin Latner, Morris William Levy, MD, William Anthony Lovett, William Mayer, Bernard David Mintz, Ralph Neiman, Sally Vidovsky Lehman, Betty Ann Randolph Purcell, Adele Schwartz, Morris B. Sondheimer, Henry Weil, Samuel Julius Weiss, Cantor Zalman Yavne, Joseph Zeldin. Bring my hand around the room. Please feel invited to rise and say a name you came to remember. For those we name tonight, for those we hold in our heart at every Kaddish, and for those for whom there is no one left to say Kaddish, but we rise, page 294, join those in mourning and solidarity, and affirm life and hope with the words, Yitgadal v'yitkadal shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yuteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bisman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah barach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei kedusha b'richu. Le'ilah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world. May God comfort all those who are bereaved. And we say together, Amen. You may be seated. It is the last time I will say these words, but I would like to invite forward on her last Shabbat as the president of our congregation, Dr. Laura Levy, for some announcements.
And what a privilege it has been. I really would like to thank those who greeted us when we came in the door tonight, as we always do. But I came in a side door, and I don't know who they are. Would anyone like to admit to it? Thank you, Bill Prosell. Anyone else? Thank you. We appreciate it, as always. And thank you, Rabbi Kowalski, for leading us in candle blessing and Kiddush. We look so forward to having you join our family in just a few weeks. Our Shabbat pulpit flowers tonight are given in memory of William Anthony Lovett by John Lovett and Moira Kilroy and Claire Lovett. In memory of Betty Ann Randolph Prosell by William Prosell. In memory of Ralph Neiman and Sally Vodovsky Neiman by Michael Shira, Ida, and Zev Cohen. If you're a Touro ambassador, Naomi for the last time, and others who are a Touro ambassador, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you. For new members, guests to our congregation, even longtime members, feel free to find me or any of these ambassadors after the service. We'd love to say hello and answer any questions you may have. Thank you. Many of you know that Cantor Margolius has been leading an Introduction to Prayer workshop. Just by the nature of the subject, you can imagine it's a small group, but a few spaces have opened up in that workshop, and I want to let you know about them. There are 2 dates available: tomorrow, May 17th at 5:30 p.m., and Saturday, May 24th at 5:30 p.m. What happens at this workshop? Well, the group learns about food blessings over a pizza dinner, watches a Touro live stream, answers your questions about it, talk about ways to integrate small moments of prayer and mindfulness into your daily life. And they try out a traditional evening service, a way to experience a different mode of Jewish prayer. Sounds wonderful. If you would like to join, please see Cantor Margolius after services tonight. We're looking forward to celebrating everything Touro with all of you this Sunday morning at our 197th annual meeting. This special meeting will include the installation of our friend Kevin Wilkins as the 60th president of Touro Synagogue, and there'll also be pre-Shavuot fun for kids, so come with your family. If you have not yet RSVP'd, please do so. It helps us with the planning. There's a QR code in your order of service tonight that you can use for that purpose. Please join us. And as always, all are welcome to join us for Shabbat dinner in the Grant Meyer Garden Pavilion. I have a note here that says, don't forget to visit the S'mores Bar. So if you're a S'mores fan, tonight's your night. Shabbat Shalom.
So yes, so we have a s'mores bar just at the very end of Lag BaOmer, which is a holiday that is often filled with fire and cookouts and bonfires. So it's our little nod to that in a safe way here in our courtyard. Our closing song tonight, I'd like to dedicate to our phenomenal, I guess, 59th president of Touro Synagogue, President Laura Levy. And so what we're going to ask you to do as we sing this song as a blessing for all of us, and also as a blessing and thanksgiving for Laura and your gifts, we're going to come down a little bit, and if everybody can just sort of move toward the center, we're going to make kind of a cozy circle-ish, oval-ish thing to surround Laura and to say thank you. Page 341, Lech Ilach, your journey from this moment forward, and our journey as a congregation.
Lech Ilach, to Aleth to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. You shall be a blessing.